What's up, guys? Dirty Diesel here, working on the H6 3.0 Subaru. These things are quite badass, to be honest with you. This is about the power steering pump and getting bubbles in your reservoir. I had installed a new power steering pump when I rebuilt this engine about, I don't know, it's been a while now. And I had power steering issues, and I put on a new rack and pinion. That didn't help. The new power steering pump is what I put on when I rebuilt the engine, and it obviously seemed to be bad. I thought it might have been bad. Now, this system, if you think about it, it has the reservoir here, and then this hose right here, let's see if I could get in there. Yeah, this hose right there, that is the feed to the power steering pump. So basically the power steering pump only has one suction, okay? And your air bubbles are mainly, if you think about it, going to come from suction, because on the high pressure side, it's going to leak out. It's not going to leak air in. So that line that goes to the top of the power steering pump, which is under here, it's this line. I bought a new line. I suggest you buy a new line so it's nice and soft. And then the stock hose clamps will be fine. You don't need, clips or whatever you want to call them. They're not hose clamps, but they're the hose clamps that you pinch on instead of screw on. They work fine. They go until this is hard. The only reason why they don't work is once this hose gets hard and you move it around, then you're going to create air suction, because the power steering pump sucks only from that hose. The other ones, which is this line, is the high pressure. And like I said, anything leaking out is just going to be a leak. It's not going to create air bubbles. So on the top of the pump, this connects with a hard fitting and an O-ring. And I would say 99% of the chance, maybe even 100% of the time, unless your power steering pump's bad, that's going to be your issue, is going to be either this line, the clamp there, and there's a clamp up here also, and then there's a fitting that's a hard fitting that screws down to your power steering pump, and it has an O-ring. And that's what ended up being bad on mine. It could have been this, because I changed it, but once I changed it, I still had air in the line. I had bled it properly and done everything to it, and it got air back in the line. So then what I did is I just took a Harbor Freight O-ring set, and the O-ring appeared to be a little bit large, but once I bolted it down, it was fine. It bolted completely down to the top, and now I have the smoothest steering ever. And I'll say this, that it's quite dangerous to have air in your line, because when I would do S-curves in the mountains, sometimes my steering would stick, and you could not steer anymore. And that's quite dangerous when you need more steering in a quite tight S-curve in the mountains. So that's about it, guys. Chances are, if you have air bubbles in your reservoir, it's either this hose, or the O-ring on the top of there. The inlet only, because it's the suction side. All right, guys? Dirty Diesel out.